Waiting for YouTube to do its thing.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Whatever time zone you happen to be in,
Do its thing.
welcome to Leaders Worldwide Online Toastmasters Club. Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leaders Worldwide is designed for politicians, business leaders, nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, as well as anyone who wants to make their message heartfelt and authentic. Core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We are Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters, where leaders are made.
And now I get to introduce our past president, Tala. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, and that wonderful opening video is always enthralling to see. Thank you so much for coming up with that. And I welcome you all to this meeting of Leaders Worldwide of August the 28th, 2023. So we have quite a bit of an agenda and we have just 1 hour to get through it. So I'll not beat around the bush and I'll just go on to our guest introductions, and all our guests are requested to introduce themselves briefly. We will start from guest Ananda Sen. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much. My name is Ananda Sen, and I am the immediate past president of a club here in Fremont. And just till June end, I was the president for 1 year. Before that, I was the Sergeant at Arms, VP Education. And I am here because last week I accidentally came across a meeting which was being streamed live, and I saw Cynthia there, and she was a guest speaker at one of our open houses a couple of months ago, I think March or April. So I just got in touch with her, and I was very interested in coming to see, because a lot of officers are here from all around the world. Some are in India, Pakistan, and I think other Caribbean islands. So that's why I'm here, just more as an observer and see how I can benefit and what I can share with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ananda. Honored to have you with us from one immediate past president to another. It's a thrill to have you. Next, we have Anna Schmidt. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, good evening or good afternoon, good morning and good evening, Toastmasters all around the world. I have been invited by Cynthia. We had quite some time ago, we had a meeting already, and I forever forget to come into the meeting. But I've also met you, Tala, at Leadership Speak. You remember? And I've visited your club also for a while. I'd love to hear what you have to say today. Thank you. All right, sorry, I've been a Toastmaster for about 12 years, and I'm a member of 3 clubs, one in Canada, one in Africa, and one in Singapore. Thank you.
Wow, absolutely fantastic. A globe-trotting Toastmaster with us. Next, we have Noon Tibeli. Please introduce yourself within a minute.
Okay, thank you so much. And a very good morning from my side. It's 2:05 a.m. So I am actually with this Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club few times ago, but I am only member. No, I'm not a member. I'm a guest, but I will sign up by the Uptown Auckland Toastmasters Club. And Cynthia is my main mentor. And also Sally is my sponsorship. Thank you so much. So I am here because I've seen the advertisement in the Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club WhatsApp group, because I'm here, I'm there. So yeah, that's why I'm here today. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much. As per the agenda, this is all the time I have for the presidential opening. So it is my honor and privilege to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, another globetrotter, another lady of unbelievable talents, be it prose or poetry or Toastmastering or TEDx speaking. You will find her anywhere and everywhere. I'm talking about none other than distinguished Toastmaster Rosalind Khan. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Hello, Toastmaster and the most welcome guests. Today's theme for tonight is new beginnings. And we might ask, why is it new beginnings? Well, some people in the academic world, they are starting back at school and they have new teachers and new classes and so forth. I understand we have new officers in our club. We're starting a new program here where we're only going an hour a week. And I just learned while I was in a meeting in One Country, One World, Toastmasters again is going to go through new beginnings by having just 6 paths. So look forward to hearing more about that. Always something new, but we are on a tight ship here, and so we have to get with our schedule here. So let me go ahead and introduce our grammarian and our counter, which is Miss Sally Reyes.
Thank you very much. I don't see you on screen, but I hope to eventually. Our word of the day, which is excellent, expectations. And with all these changes, we follow a road, and the next thing you know, you have 3 or 4 choices, which could make a huge difference in how you get the rest of your life in interest and value. So I'll be listening to your speeches and noting wonderful expressions, and also when we make some ahs and ums and buts, those interruptive words that take the value out of what you have to say. So have a great time today, and I love every minute of it. Thank you.
Did I miss the word of the day, or was I sleeping or something?
Expectations is.
Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. Great expectations I have for all of you. So now, as a Toastmaster running a tight ship, we're going to have timing, and our timing for today's speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. And our timer will show us those colors of the 5 minutes time, the 6 minute time, and the 7 minute time. And we have our speaker number 1 is going to be, just a second here, Maya Catherine. Maya Catherine is speaking out of the Pathways Motivational Strategies Level 1, writing a speech with purpose and with purpose. It is 5 to 7 minutes. If you didn't break it, but you can fix it, her introduction reads, Maya Catherine is an emotional health and emotional wellness expert and advocate. She's an author, a speaker, a certified emotional intelligence practitioner, and writing coach. Maya believes that anyone can thrive in life even after the hardship. With emotional healing and mindset realignment, Maya is passionate about guiding those who, like her, wish to share their stories to motivate, inspire, and empower others. So once again, we're going to hear from Maya Catherine, Pathways, Motivational Strategies, writing a speech with purpose. You didn't break it, but you have to fix it. Maya.
Thank you. How many of you have heard this expression? You break it, you fix it. How many? Or this one, you break it, you pay for it. Or you break it, it's yours. However, the way the words were put together, the idea is the same. If you break something, you're responsible to getting it back together, right? But what happens when the broken thing is your heart? And you are not the one who did that. Who gets to fix it? Well, they say in every rule there are exceptions. I can tell you right now that the heart is one of them. Often we are in situations where we have to mend our broken hearts after a breakup, a betrayal, somebody saying something that hurts our feelings, a disappointment, and then they go away. And so who's left to pick up the pieces? We are. Sometimes they say life is not fair. And in this case, there are a lot of unfairness in us having to fix something we didn't break. But I'm here to tell you, there's always and also a gift in that. And the gift is taking your power back. Let me explain. You see, many of you see me smiling and joyful and always, ready to go and happy with life. But little did you know, I wasn't always like that. I was that girl waiting forever for the ex this and the former that to come back and give me justice for the pain they had caused me. What I didn't realize is that sometimes there is no justice. What I didn't realize is that sometimes there are lessons to be learned. And what I really didn't understand is that I had the power to mend my own heart. And instead of looking at it as it is unfair, I should shift the way I thought and think about, well, I have the power to fix my heart. It is my heart, so why shouldn't I? When I came to this realization, everything changed. I was able to understand the power of cutting the pain chains, like I call them, that link us to the people we're waiting to come and say, I'm sorry, to come and say, forgive me. We're cutting that chain of resentment and anger and sadness by taking our power back and said, I'm gonna heal my heart. And healing your heart is not easy, okay? It involves forgiving people you think deserves no forgiveness. It involves taking the high road. Some people say it involves turning the other cheek. I don't say that. Once is enough. But it involves sometimes also turning the mirror on yourself and say, why did you allow yourself to be in that situation in the first place? And it's not about guilt or blame at that point. It's about identifying the need or that was met, or the belief system that we had that made us think that that was okay. Taking charge of fixing our own hearts doesn't exonerate the people who did what they did to us. Not at all. It's not giving them a pass. It's just saying, I am responsible for my heart now. I will fix it. And fixing it involves, like I said, difficult things, but it also involves just giving your hearts lots of love, lots and lots of love. That's one way to fixing it too. So you see, I have my sunflowers behind me. That brings me a lot of love in my heart. So that allows me to continue to heal as I need. So healing your heart is an act of self-love. It's an act of defiance. It's a way to say, you can shake me or you can't break me. You can hurt my heart, but you cannot break it because I now and taking care of it. It's a way of saying that I will not allow something that happened a long time ago to continue making me mad, to continue to make me upset, to continue to create the turmoil. I will cut that chain myself. So no, you didn't break your heart. But let me tell you something. When you start mending your heart and you start taking your power back, you get in touch with your inner peace again. You get in touch with your inner joy again. You get in touch with your deliciousness again. There's a lot of spicy things in that. But it's just for me, it's just a way for me to say, there's so many things that come with taking responsibility for your own happiness. 100% responsibility, no matter who did something to you, and no matter what you did, because a lot of times the heartbreak comes from guilt and disappointment about what we did ourselves. So go ahead, heal your own heart, give your heart some love, because I guarantee you that all it wants to do is love you right back. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to go ahead and call for a moment of silence. I might have great expectations, Mr. Timer. Has our minute passed, or is this the longest minute of my life?
He looks frozen.
It looks frozen, so I'm going to go ahead and take it as though our minute has passed and go into our introduction of our next speaker. Our second speaker that we have today is going to be speaking out of the visionary pathways. She's out of level 3, Connect with Storytelling. Her title is called An Overlooked Cause of Disease. Do you ever wonder why there are so many diseases that are not well treated? Our next speaker, Nurse Lynn Fraley. Our next speaker, Lynn Fraley, has spent more than 35 years in healthcare industry and will share her ideas on some simple remedies that are legal, affordable, and worth knowing about. Do you want me to read that again, or did you hear that?
I think we should mute all and then let someone unmute, because someone appears to be unmuted and unaware of it.
Right. Host, are we good? Okay, so this is Lynn Fraley. I apologize for the interruptions beyond my control. We are looking at the Visionary Communication, Level 3, Connect with Storytelling, 5 to 7 minutes, an overlooked cause of disease. Do you ever wonder why there are so many diseases that are not well treated? Our next speaker, Nurse Lynn Fraley, has spent more than 35 years in healthcare and will share her ideas. For more than 35 years in healthcare industry, and will share her ideas on some simple remedies that are legal, affordable, and worth knowing. Lynn Fraley, An Overlooked Cause of Disease. Lynn Fraley.
If the third leading cause of death in the United States, and I'm not sure about the rest of the world, is medical care. Do you want more of it? Or do you want to be the smartest consumer of healthcare services so that you're not taking more than you need and putting yourself at risk? I've been in the healthcare business for a long time and I've witnessed a lot. And I want to tell you about some of the stories. About 100 years ago, there were thriving schools of herbology and osteopathy and chiropractic and midwifery and acupuncture, but those schools closed because they didn't meet the norms of the new medical practice as established by the American Medical Association and large pharmaceutical companies who decided that we should have a standard form of care. So if the rest of the world wonders why America may be a little bit backwards in terms of natural treatment, we have a history, but we're climbing back out of that. So part of it is for us to tell our story. I wrote a book on breast wellness for women. I did not even want to put a chapter on cancer in it, but I did because it's such an expectation. The book is Cherish the Girls, a well-rounded approach to breast health and wellness. But it wasn't until I attended a Toastmasters meeting that I didn't have some clarity on one of the side effects of a very popular treatment of it. There are three areas to look at when you're looking at taking care of yourself and looking at myths: clarity, courage, and confidence. And we have stories. And one of the stories about cancer is that it could be genetic, very small chance. But there's kind of a dancing, I say whistling past the graveyard with the rest of that because we don't know how we have it, but we're looking for it all the time. When in fact, it's coming to the fore now, but it's not news. And that an overlooked form of perhaps cancer and many other diseases are parasites. And parasitologists will say, we wonder why people don't talk about this, but there was a long-standing tradition in our country, and it is spreading around the world, chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. In fact, in California, if a woman is suspected of having cancer or is pretty sure she has it, a doctor cannot prescribe anything except those three forms of treatment at first. So it's kind of a tight ship. So there's a story here. It wasn't until I was in Toastmasters where I learned that women could not only just lose their hair to chemotherapy, because you can always get a wig. Just wonderful wigs. You want to be a blonde, it's a story that we're sold. You get a wig and your hair grows back. But I didn't know till I was here that people lost their teeth. Now, I knew it was hard on bones. I knew it was hard on organs. I knew that chemo could cause new cancers. I know for a fact that many, many clients have told me that their loved ones died not from the cancer, but from the treatment. And it's kind of you don't want to blame anybody because we're going to assume everyone's working in good health and good intentions. But the fact that a parasite can be treated in one way and cancer can be treated in another way is profound. Now, the story is that germs cause disease and we have to follow the germs, but parasites, we don't talk a lot about them because there are some really simple treatments for it, one of which was ivermectin. And that expression might come up for you, that term might come up for you, knowing, having gone through this event, that ivermectin was not allowed to be used, and one thought was because it was curing so many problems. So that's another story. And the person who developed ivermectin, well, and hydrochloroquine, they didn't come to a good end. So there are a lot of stories that go around in healthcare, and I'm here to urge you to make sure that you can create your own story. One of my clients she was sure she had skin cancer, but because it wasn't diagnosed with a biopsy, you can't see what it was. But she followed and she found a natural remedy for her skin cancer that basically had it disappear. Over 44 days, she said, it went away. No scar, never came back. And it was a homemade remedy that she did, copied off of something that someone had created with these natural ingredients. I've been privileged to be able to go to the American Cancer, not the American Cancer, goodness no, the Cancer Control Society conference in Los Angeles, where I'm speaking this coming weekend on being your own best healthcare advocate. And to do that and to look at in the face of a lot of challenges for how diseases are caused and treated, it takes a lot of courage. It took a lot of courage for the woman I know to work with her face to use a natural remedy. But I want to encourage that all of us have the ability to research what we want to research for our health challenges. Because our primary care provider may not be familiar with the disease or the treatment, doesn't mean that you don't have it or there's someone else who may not treat it better. It's important to work with providers, but it's also important that the third C is there, and that is that you have confidence. You know yourself better than anybody. If it's a strange idea for someone else, but not for you, don't be thwarted in your efforts. You have we all have more access to research than researchers have had in their lifetime, but some of it's suppressed. So make sure that you look for a variety of different kinds of resources, that you stay open. I was glad to be open to more health challenges for a conventional treatment that I had known about. And also the idea of supporting each other. I work with a group of people and support them, because if we have different ideas, we may not always be supported in our own beliefs, and we may be challenged and told we'll die if we don't do this, and someone died because they tried that. There's a lot of fear that runs in our culture, and diseases that we're not so familiar with doesn't mean that there are $10 natural cures for them that our healthcare providers have been told will not work and could be dangerous. So when you're looking at anything for your own health and well-being, do not have the expectation that you will be taken care of in one system that may not be familiar with it, but do have the expectation that the body always wants to heal. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to go back to our timer for another moment of silence.
Minutes over.
Okay, so thank you very much to our speakers. And now I'd like to invite the timer, Talha bin Hamed, to go over the timing as we move into the next section of our tightly ship here with great expectations, our timer and table topics.
All right. So Toastmaster Maya spoke for 6 minutes and 19 seconds, and Lynn spoke for 7 minutes and 10 seconds. All right. So for table topics, the times are minimum 1 minute. Then you'll see yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds and red at 2 minutes. And when you see red, it means that you have to conclude your speech within 30 seconds, because 2 minutes and 31 seconds is disqualification. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much for a beautiful explanation of those timing cards. And now for our table topic master, Miss Alpana Araskin, for our table topics.
Thank you so much. I am really excited about this topic for new beginnings. And I know Rosalind spoke a little bit about it at the beginning. And for me, I think of new beginnings that can happen anytime in life. It can be in the morning when you wake up. So it can be on a daily basis, a monthly basis, anywhere. So I actually love this topic. And I would love to call upon a volunteer for the question. So who would like to go? Maybe one of our guests? Okay, I'm trying to see if anybody, okay, I have a volunteer, Rafat Hussain. Okay, so here's a question.
Before telling the topic, do let me know if I'm properly audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
You're perfectly audible. Okay, so let me find a question. Okay, so the question is, how do you motivate yourself to begin something new when faced with any sort of uncertainty or fear?
Can you repeat once again?
Sure. So how do you motivate yourself to begin something new when faced with uncertainty or fear? So if there's a challenge or something like that, let's say if you were going to start a new hobby or whatever it is. So it can be anything, any sort of new adventure, endeavor.
Exactly. That's when we born. We are just born fighter with some struggles. Do you remember when you first saw a baby, a newborn baby crying? Exactly, that's the moment he or she first faced a problem or struggle. This world was uncertain. This world was something very new, which she or he didn't knew about. Exactly, that's how anything new we approach. Like when I was just got admitted in school, I didn't know what the environment is going to be. And even last time, I just tried to learn a new skill. I didn't know how the experience is going to be, or if I'll be able to be skilled in that or not. Even in Toastmasters, we don't know what's gonna be. Every time any new guest just hop into our meeting, we ask them, Madam or sir, can you please introduce yourself? They're shocked, which is a fear of everybody in this world. They're asking me to speak in front of public and introduce myself. That's a tough one. So just like that, every time, myself, if it is about me, I do love dealing with problems or fighting with new things. So every time I find anything is called hard or tough by anyone, I do just love to hop into it. Even right now, there's a new audience, a new meeting, and even though I have an exam tomorrow, I'm just hopping into a meeting and trying to give a table topic speech, which makes me motivated. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, I can deal with problems. And what do you think, Madam Table Topic Master?
Oh, that was excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rafat. I really like the way you actually took us back all the way to the beginning from the baby stage, and then even sort of tying it in with what we are doing here as table topics or as public speakers on this Toastmasters forum. So I really enjoyed that example as well, and your personal reason for also being a part of this. So thank you so much for sharing that. And let's see if I can have another volunteer. Otherwise, I might call on some people. Let's see. Who do we have? Well, how about Carolyn Douglas? Would you be available?
Yes, I can do one.
Okay, perfect. So this is a question. Can you think of a movie character whose beginning or origin story resonates with you, and also maybe share why?
On the spur of the moment, I want to say thank you for the question. And even though I love lots of movies, I cannot think of a character that I've seen on the movie screen that somewhat identifies me, that I resonate with. I just watched a movie. Well, actually, it's a TV series that is called The Lost Flowers, and it stars Sigourney Weaver. And what I found very interesting about this series is that she is a mother and a grandmother, and she has a special focus nonprofit that she's doing. She's serving women, helping women who find themselves in bad situations, bad relationships. And she actually owns a farm where these women can come and they can spend time there. In addition to that, on her farm, she grows flowers all over the place. And what I found very intriguing about this particular series, when they pull up a certain flower, they will identify not only the name of the flower, but the message that the flower conveys. And that really touched my heart, because everything has meaning. So if I were to try to place myself into that, it's that sense and that knowing of humanity that she has for others, that she shares. So that would be the only way I could actually see myself as resonating with that particular character. Thank you so much for the question. Back to you.
Oh my goodness, that was an amazing response. And I know it was a little, just sort of having to go down and quickly think of a character. And I just loved your answer. And I actually want to be able to check out this movie with Sigourney Weaver, and just everything that you shared resonated so deeply with me, with her mission, and then just that little tie-in with humanity. So thank you so much for your beautiful response. I appreciate that. All right, so let's see, who do we have next? Do we have another guest that might be willing to? Okay, I see Ananda Sen. Let me just find a question. Okay, so here's my question. How do cultural or family traditions play a role in marking new beginnings in your life? So it could be any which way that you want to interpret this question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. So how do cultural or family traditions play a role in marking new beginnings in your life? For example, for me, when I think of the Indian festival of Gudi Padwa, it marks the beginning of a new year in the calendar, and it's new beginnings. So it could be anything, which could be something that your family does together, or any sort of a cultural representation.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master. The occasion, a family occasion which marks a new beginning for me could be, I guess it could be Dashera. Dashera. It happens sometime in October, I think end of September, October. And the occasion is, where it's not that the family comes together in celebrating the victory of good over bad, of good forces over demonic forces, killing of an evil character in that. But what it also brings about is that the family comes together to spend time together. For me, that is important. The religious thing can be an occasion, but what is important, I feel, is that everybody comes together to spend some moments together, which is a new beginning where we share our problems, our good things, our bad things, we share how much the loved ones have changed, how people have grown. And that may be also a time where we miss some people whom we have lost in the last 1 year, 2 years, couple of years. I've lost my father and mother, both. So it comes whenever I have those feelings, I cherish the moments we spend together with my father, with my mother, with my uncle, who are gone, who are not around. You miss them, and you cherish the moments you spend with them. What they have for you, what you learn from them, what legacies have they left for you, how you can take those legacies forward, what you need to do to not forget what they have done for you, and carry it forward and teach it to your kids, your next generation. That's all. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ananda. That was wonderful. Dasera Diwali are also my favorite festivals. But coming from your unique perspective, what they mean for you was really amazing to hear, especially the part about the legacies and the meaning of everybody, all the family folks coming together and sharing whatever's on their heart. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. And with that, I'm not sure if we have time for one more, or do we have to conclude the table topics?
I think we should conclude because we are already behind schedule.
Okay, that sounds good then. Well, thank you everybody for participating. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. I'd like to call on our timer, giving the timing report, and then we'll go to our general evaluator.
For the table topics, Toastmaster Rifat spoke for 2 minutes, 13 seconds. Carolyn Douglas spoke for 1 minute, 54 seconds. And Ananda Sen spoke for 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
And I'd like to call for Dee Marie King for our general evaluation.
So hello, everyone, with this new beginnings that we have, which is getting all of this information done in 1 hour. Our expectations when we started is that we would do that. And my expectation is to keep it moving. Our first evaluator is Cassandra Garabedian, and she's going to evaluate speaker number 1. And that speaker was Maya Catherine. So Cassandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dee Marie. Okay, Maya Catherine. Sorry about that, guys. Let me turn this off. Maya Catherine. I congratulate you on a well thought out speech. You presented it extraordinarily well. I'd like to also congratulate you on not having any notes. You just presented what you had to say and you did not have any notes in front of you. So I congratulate you on that. Also, I would like to want you to work on your tone and your vocal variety for this reason only, because of your infectious smile. When you talk about being vulnerable and the way that they went away and that the broken heart. When you talk about those things and you're smiling, it's that contradiction thing going on. So they're opposing views there. You're smiling, yet you're talking about these things going on. But if you're having gestures and your tone and your vocal variety, that will help that smile go away. Because you're talking about two extreme things going on. So try working on that. And when you're talking about these two opposing things, try to have those gestures and that vocal variety and that tone to match what you're talking about. And then that smile. And then when you're talking about the joy of breaking free, and then you have your beautiful smile, then those two match. Does that make sense for you? Try that. I challenge you. And the next time I hear that speech, I think that'll work for you. But overall, a wonderful speech. I see where you're going with that. Thank you, Maya. Wonderful speech other than that. Wonderful. Back to you.
So our next evaluator is Maya Catherine, and she will be evaluating speaker number 2, who was Lynn Fraley. Maya, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? So amazing speech, Lynn. And I really love your intro question, which really got the audience engaged. And also talk about vocal variety. You had a very good vocal variety to from switching from that first question to, you know, the stats and information that you were given that were not necessarily happy ones. So you were able to make it serious afterwards. I love the way you brought people in when you said, let me tell you. That kind of got my attention early, and I wanted to pay attention to what you were saying. And you were very affecting in setting expectations by laying out the 3 areas that you talked about. So the 3 areas, and then you went over them. Also, great use of hands when you talk about losing teeth. I remember you were like, your hands were right there. So it was really, really good use of hands there. If I would say anything to make it even better next time, it looked a little bit sometimes that you were looking down on something. I don't know if it was notes or what. It kind of looked like you were looking down, and a little bit after that, I kind of got a little lost with the theme as it related to what you were saying, but at the end, you brought it all together. So other than that, excellent speech, great speech. Thank you for bringing those to our attention, very important issues. And I was, very privileged to be your evaluator today, and I'm looking forward to hearing you speak again. Thank you.
Next, it is our expectation that our grammarian will give us good news. And I'd like to call on Sally Reyes so that she can give us her report.
Thank you, Jean Marie. This was a wonderful day today, listening to the words, because we have people who really experienced expectations, and Rosalind and for 2, and Dee Marie for 2, and Lynn for 1, and I think Maya 1. So I think it's in a very adventurous word, and can energize us into using our experiences with more joy and expression. But I've heard words that I love today was Maya's deliciousness and resolution. And everything has meaning, and taking the high road in a tough time. So thanks so much for your contributions, and back to you.
Thank you so much for your report, Sally. And now we will have the timers report for the evaluators.
Sure. Our 2 evaluators did fantastically well in terms of time. And Cassandra spoke for 2 minutes and 1 minute and 2 minutes and 55 seconds. And Maya spoke for 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Thank you so much for that report. And let me just say that the club has not disappointed. Our expectations have been met, because we will be able to conclude this meeting within the hour's limit. That is phenomenal. My report tells us that we started on time. We were privy to 2 wonderful speeches, 5 to 7 minutes, by both Maya Kaplan and Lynn Fraley. Wonderful messages, chock full of information, and giving us an opportunity to think about new beginnings and how our expectations would be met at that point. I want to say welcome again to all the guests. I appreciate the fact that they introduced themselves and we got to know some of them up close and personal. That always adds a highlight to the meeting for me, to find out where our guests are from, what they're doing, and that kind of thing. So that was a very good part of the meeting. I want to thank all the role players for the significant roles that they played, because everyone did their part, which makes the mood of the club move along in a very smooth fashion. I would like also to thank the speakers for their speeches and how they rendered that information to us. And the table topics, oh my goodness. The table topics were heartfelt. Everyone had a chance to dive deep and just express themselves. And it was so amazing. We had a table topic where the person actually said, I don't know anything about that, but let me tell you about this. And that is a way to manage table topics. You don't step out and try to say something that you're not sure of, but you tell us what you do know instead. That was wonderful. So the meeting today has been very inspirational. It has shown us what new beginnings can look like. And I want to thank our table topics master for the questions that were presented. And everything has moved along smoothly. I'm just excited that Leaders Worldwide is blazing a trail. And when we decide to start and embark on new beginnings, we know exactly what the expectations are and where we plan to end up. Our 1-hour meeting has been pulled into place, and it doesn't seem like we missed anything today. In 1 hour, that is phenomenal. And we can look forward to the after party. Now, I'm told that you may not get a chance to shake your tail feather or any of those things, but it's going to be an after party anyway. So let's look forward to that. And our expectations have not been dashed today. We've been filled with professionalism. We've been filled with dynamic speakers and excellent communication. It's been a phenomenal meeting. And I'm really at my wit's end to try and come up with any stretch goals. I think that we've just done a phenomenal job. So whatever it took to get us here today, let's try that again. The communication process, the getting the role players in place, all of that worked, and we are proof that it can be done. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I'm sorry. Back to you, Rosalind.
Rosalind, you are on mute.
I always like to be on mute to make my grand entrances. And so I get to take us back to our president to hear what we're going to be doing in our after party, or the Vice President of Education.
Yes, so thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. We were slightly behind schedule, so the time for announcements, guest comments, takeaways, tweets has already passed. But as a token of appreciation, I'd like to invite one guest for their comments about the meeting, very brief ones. So anyone would like to volunteer, one of the guests, please. First come, first served. All right. Toastmaster Ananda, go on.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And, I'm very happy because just now, right at the moment, it is a work time for me, but I took time off to spend 1.5 hours with you, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I loved the speeches. I love the table topic questions, and I love the evaluations. Because I already have been the president, VP, and Star Search. I'm looking for something which will take me to the next level, and I think this is one of the clubs for me. And I will try my best to come back again as a guest. Only the timings are little clashing. And one thing I loved about this club is, people from all over the world are here. I think right now I was counting maybe minimum 4 countries: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, US, India, Pakistan. I think Liluem Tebli, I think she's from the Philippines. Minimum 4 countries, maybe more. For this gentleman from Pakistan, it's midnight. For somebody that Liluem Tebli, it is 3 or 4 in the morning. So we are spending our midnight sleeping time to spend time. So I loved it, and I would love to come back. I would love to come back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guest Ananda. And yes, we put the worldwide in Leaders Worldwide. You'll truly find a spectrum that is more or less unparalleled in terms of membership at Leaders Worldwide. And we're all proud to be a part of this beautiful galaxy. So with that, sadly, no time for the takeaways or treats this time, but I have a different kind of takeaway or treat, because I'll hand over the charge to our Vice President of Education, Cassandra, who will be bestowing all of us the roles for the next meeting. That's the best kind of treat. So over to you, Toastmaster Cassandra.
Thank you so much, Tala. For next week, we have openings for our roles, and this is a major time for you to participate and to get to hone more into your craft and learn more about the roles and how it plays and how you can learn more about speeches and to hone your craft. So with that being said, we have all the roles open. You also have for speeches. So do we have any volunteers for TMOD?
We actually have 2 speakers already.
Okay, so we have that, but do we have it for the next following week? So let's keep them filled.
Yeah, so we have 2 speakers, and we have That's Rosalind and Rosemary. And then we have Maya Catherine is our Zoom host. That's going to be great. And our general evaluator will be Carrie Kelly. All the other roles are open.
Okay, so we need timer,
Yeah.
table topic master is open.
And Toastmaster of the day.
Okay,
This is I'm sorry, this is the night meeting. I just want to make sure.
this is for,
It is September 4th. It is the night meeting. Yes.
Okay. I just
So
wanna make
it
sure I'm
runs
on-
at 5, which is 8 your time on the East Coast. And then we close by 6:30, which is 9:30 your time.
Fine. I just wanted to make sure it was a night versus a day.
okay, that's
think it
okay.
was. Sorry.
That's okay. We should have announced that part of it. Sorry about that, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have timer. Anyone for timer? Tabletop, do we have table topics open?
Yes.
Table topics?
And we have Toastmaster and we don't have a theme yet. So you can choose the theme if you want.
And this is our club, guys. We need participants.
Sandra, please put me down for either one, Toastmaster of the day or Table Topics Master.
Okay.
Great.
Marie.
I still, I have to see if I can come to the meeting because I got to check with the boss.
Okay.
I would do something. I just want to make sure that, it's school the next day. So.
Okay, I'll put you
Um,
You
down.
can put me down
Alex,
for
I'll just-
everything.
I'll
I'm
just-
gonna
I'll
probably
check that.
assist with the Zoom.
Okay, I'll just put you
What was-
down.
What was that, Alex, about Zoom?
I will probably assist with Zoom if I know somebody else is doing it. Correct, Maya Catherine?
Right, Maya Catherine. Yeah. And so she'll need to learn how to do the YouTube and all that. Yeah. So maybe timer, if you're coming, would be great.
I just have to see.
You just have to see. Okay.
I
Great.
don't want to commit to something and then you have to scramble.
Okay.
Yay.
I'll do table topics.
Great.
We'll do the other. Come on, guys. We're having the same people doing the roles, and we need to have more people participate.
So the only
Who's gonna
one,
be there?
oh, Denise?
Are you asking for somebody to answer the questions on the table talk?
No, to make.
No.
the question.
Master?
To
Oh, okay,
be-
the role. So never mind. I'm still learning that stuff, so I
But
can't.
that's the way that you learn to actually get into just do it. Just come on, let's-
Actually, if you're going to be available, maybe you want to be timer.
Yeah, you know what? We were talking about that,
Yeah.
about getting trained with Isaac. So
Yeah.
let me jump on and say yes, and then start learning, see if I can get either.
there
with
you go. There you go, Denise. That's the spirit.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And then you can follow up with Isaac. Great. And I think we have all our roles. And then for the September 11, we have a special guest that's coming back again from Sweden. She did our table topics a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months or so
Mhm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to do a panel discussion about reclaiming the day. And Alex Balish already volunteered to be one of their panelists because he was working for the Red Cross and actually went to the Twin Towers on 9/11. So he can tell about his experience of that. And I was wondering if we have any more people of our members that would like to be a panelist. Dee Marie, I know your book that's coming out is based on 9/11. Would you like to be a panelist?
It is not based on 9/11, but it has a component in it that has something to do with the 9/11 experience. And I don't have a problem. I don't know what the panelists are supposed to do, but I don't have a problem with being on the panel.
Well, it's just talking about 9/11 and helping us all to heal and move forward from that experience. So it's actually landed on our meeting day, 9/11, and I thought it was a wonderful way to reclaim the day.
And so what time is this meeting?
That's in the same time as this meeting,
Early meeting, yeah.
early meeting. Yeah.
Put
And
me
so-
down.
Oh, great. Got her, Cassandra?
I'm sorry,
You got Dee Marie as a panelist?
that's on the 11th, 9/11.
On the 11th, yeah, and we need one more panelist to talk about 9/11, your experience of it or moving forward from it.
I'll be on it.
Awesome, awesome. And then we'll need a Toastmaster of the day to organize that. Yeah.
If we can get somebody to, if Maya Catherine, I don't know if she's still even here, but if I can get Isaac or Maya Catherine to do the video, I've never done Toastmaster, but I can do Toastmaster. I'll try to.
Well, you're on the panel though.
That's fine. I didn't know if that was appropriate.
Yeah.
That's fine. I have no problem not doing it.
I think that might be too much for
Fine,
you.
no problem.
Panelists, yeah, yeah.
Rosalind, are you going to be available that day?
What is the day?
9/11.
9/11.
I should be. Let me just check my
And
schedule.
it's at this time, which is 10:30 a.m. Pacific time to 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay. I'll
If
put
you
it
could be
in.
the Toastmaster of the day, that would be fabulous.
Sure.
Thank you, Rosalind.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Good. Great.
And then if we need anything else, there's people that are missing, like Carrie and Rosemary and so forth. We can call them and get them on.
Yeah, and we'll have to talk about if we're going to have table topics or not,
Right.
because I think
They-
we're
they
probably
can-
going to use the Q&A
right.
instead
they
of the
can fill
table
some
topics.
room.
Yeah,
Mhm.
make it more
Yeah.
simple.
It's only an hour, so they can fill some room. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Awesome. So now for our after party, we finished the meeting. Thanks for being in the meeting. And if you'd like to stay, we can answer any questions you might have about our TEDx event or Leaders Worldwide in general, or our TED panel that we had, or the special opportunity for speaking that's available only to District 57 club members, which if you are a member of Leaders Worldwide, you're absolutely eligible. Was that a hand raised there? Hi, Dumi.
Or the exchange program.
Oh, yeah.
And the gentleman that was, hold on, I have his name, that took an hour and a half off of his break from work. We can talk to him.
Yeah, Ananda.
Yes. Is he still here?
No.
I just see
Yes,
his.
he is. He's down in the corner.
I don't think he is, because that
He's
particular
not on video, but
was, yeah, he had a video and then he had two profiles.
Okay. Okay.
oh,
No,
okay.
I've got to go, and I was waving goodbye.
Okay.
I'll touch
Okay.
bases.
Bye,
Okay, thank you,
Um,
Marie, for everything.
I'm gonna turn off the YouTube.
Okay, great.